What if the person who broke your heart was the only person who could fix it? Would you still let go? His name was Asher, and when he smiled, the world seemed to tilt on its axis. I had met him just a few months back, yet it felt as if I'd known him forever. We had met through a mutual friend. The three of us had been hanging out at this little cafe downtown, sipping on iced coffees and laughing at some stupid joke that Liam had made. I remember glancing over at Asher and catching him looking back at me. There was something in his eyes, a spark that made my stomach flip. I quickly looked away, hoping he hadn't noticed. Later that week, Liam invited us to go bowling. This time it was just Asher and me, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that he was looking at me more than just as a friend. Maybe it was the way our shoulders brushed against each other as we walked next to each other, or maybe it was the lingering touches on my arm that made my skin tingle. Either way, by the end of the night, I knew there were feelings there. Feelings that went beyond friendship, feelings that could lead to something beautiful. The following weeks were a blur of movie nights, long walks under the starry sky, and whispered confessions. And then one rainy afternoon, as we were huddled under his umbrella, sharing a single jacket, Asher finally asked me to be his girlfriend. Of course I said yes, and the kiss that sealed the deal tasted like rain and happiness. Our love story continued to unfold, each day bringing new adventures and deeper emotions. Yet amidst this whirlwind romance, a tiny voice at the back of my head kept whispering, "Something isn't right. Something isn't right." I tried to ignore it, choosing to focus on the love we shared. But as time went on, the doubts grew louder. Stolen glances across the room, a sudden change in his tone when he thought I wasn't listening, and late replies to my texts were just a few of the things that set off alarm bells in my mind. I wanted to believe in Asher, in us, but the pieces of the puzzle just didn't seem to fit. One evening, while going through his phone because he had asked me to look for a picture, I stumbled upon a series of messages that made my blood run cold. They were from a woman I knew. His messages were filled with emojis and hearts. It was clear that they were more than just friends. I felt betrayed, confused, and hurt. "Do you love me, or do you love her?" His face drained of color and he tried to speak, but no words came out. His silence was deafening, echoing the truth that I had suspected but refused to acknowledge. In that moment, I saw a flicker of the man I had fallen in love with, a man who was capable of such depth of emotion, a man who could love with a fierceness that both scared and attracted me. But now that same intensity was focused on someone else. Every day after that was a battle within itself. Should I hold on to the remnants of our love, or walk away with my head held high? Each time I reached out to him, I hoped that the connection we shared, the bond we had created, would be enough to pull him back. But as days turned into weeks and his apologies became empty promises, I realized that my love wasn't enough. Then one fateful evening, I received a call from Asher. I knew the moment I picked up the phone that this was not going to be a casual conversation. His voice, usually so full of life, was tight with emotion. He was outside my house. I opened the door, and there he was, his eyes pleading for forgiveness. As I listened to him speak, I felt a mix of emotions wash over me. Remorse, anger, and most of all, a deep, aching sadness.
"I'm so sorry. I never meant for things to turn out like this. I love you, but—"
Don't say it if you don't mean it. Don't apologize if you won't change. And don't love me if you're going to hurt me. His eyes widened in surprise at my outburst, but I continued. "You've shown me nothing but disrespect and deceit. How can I trust you? How can I love you when your love is divided?" His gaze dropped to the floor. I saw the pain in his eyes, the struggle within him, and for a moment, I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. But then I remembered the hurt he had caused me, the sleepless nights, the constant worry, the tears I had cried. "Don't misunderstand this," I said, my voice firm despite the tears threatening to spill. "This isn't about getting back together. You've already lost me, Asher. What you've done, you cannot undo. Trust is broken. Love is tarnished. All that's left is the bitter taste of betrayal." He reached out to touch me, but I flinched away. "Don't," I whispered, my voice breaking. I turned away from him, trying to compose myself. Goodbye, Asher. I hope you find the happiness you deserve. As I watched him leave, a part of me wanted to call out to him, to tell him to stay. But the stronger, wiser part of me knew that this was the right thing to do. I had to protect myself, my own peace of mind. I deserved better than the half-hearted apologies and empty promises he had been offering. In the days that followed, I tried to move on. I threw myself into my work, spending long hours in the studio painting. The vibrant colors and the creative process helped to express the turmoil within me. I poured my heart and soul into my art, each stroke a release, each masterpiece a step towards healing. Then one day, a few months later, as I was working on a particularly challenging piece, my phone rang. It was Asher. My heart skipped a beat. Should I answer? I hesitated, torn between the desire for closure and the fear of reopening old wounds. But something compelled me to pick up the phone. Hello, I said, my voice betraying none of the emotions raging within me.
Hey, I know this might be an awkward conversation, but I needed to talk to you.
We spoke for hours that day. He told me about his life since we broke up, about his struggles, his regrets, and most importantly, about how he had changed. He spoke of therapy, self-reflection, and personal growth. He admitted his mistakes, apologized for the pain he had caused me, and told me that he loved me. As he spoke, I listened, truly listened, trying to hear not just the words, but the sincerity behind them. Was this the same Asher I had fallen in love with? Had he really changed? Could I trust him again? The questions swirled in my mind, and I knew that the answers lay not in his words, but in his actions, in the changes he had made, in the person he had become. By the end of the conversation, I felt a sense of closure, a sense of understanding. Our paths had diverged long ago, and while the memories we shared would always hold a special place in my heart, it was time to move forward. Now, I often think about Asher. I wonder how he is, if he has found happiness, if he has moved on. A part of me will always love him, but the stronger part of me is grateful for the strength I found within myself. I learned that love, while beautiful, can sometimes lead us down treacherous paths. But it is in the choices we make, in the courage to walk away from what hurts us, that we truly find ourselves. Would you stay with him? Let me know in the comments.